What's up, you guys? This video is about how I live for free and how you can live for free too. Let me tell you, there is a thing called house hacking. You probably heard about it. It was very famous all around the internet. Now, what does it mean? It basically means when you rent the house, you buy the house, you rent the rooms, or buy the duplex, live in one, or triplex and rent other units. So pretty much if you do the right thing, if you do the right numbers, you will end up living free. But it's really hard to get those kind of deals. So there are a couple other strategies you could use and pretty much get your rent paid by other people. So first thing is a Bur method: borrow, rehab, refinance, rinse and repeat. If you don't know what's that, is when you buy the property in a horrible condition, that's the best scenario. Then you pretty much end up repairing it, which is a smart thing to do instead of buying the already repaired properties, because you would know what you're buying and what kind of materials you're using in the repair. Most of the time, if you're buying a flip, it will be cheapest and lowest quality stuff that will probably break in a year or two, as opposed to if you were doing it yourself, you would have a chance to get a better stuff. When you do the Bur method, pretty much you can get the property for free. You put the down payment, you can borrow it, you can buy it from somewhere, get it from parents or friends, and when you rehab finances with the rehab, pretty much what happens, it appraises more. Say you bought it for 500, you did a good job with the repair, you refi it for 700, and then you can cash out the difference, 200,000 or less. I advise to cash out whatever you put down and whatever you spent for the repairs. This way you get the property for free, and it end up, you can pretty much rent other parts of the property and live there for free. Second thing you have to know, you have to find a good deal. Not every broke up property is a good rehab. Not every low price property is a good deal. You have to understand many metrics like price per square footage, their location. Actually, the location is number one thing. Then everything else comes. The condition of the property, the seller, if they agree to work with you. Yeah, most of the time, the number one mistakes people make is they go to the cheapest price property in the best neighborhood. That's a big mistake, guys. There are reasons that people realtors price properties cheap. It's because they want to sell it. They want to create competition between the buyers, create a fake demand, if you will, and then people overbid each other. That pretty much makes it impossible to buy those kind of properties, and it doesn't make sense if you even would get it because it will be way overpriced. Now, rental hacking is another thing. In my opinion, personally, if you're a single person, you're male, it's okay to rent the rooms. If you're a female, it's a little bit weird and you would not probably feel safe, depending where you live, what kind of person you are. But most of the females here in the United States, I don't think that they will feel safe renting the rooms with people they don't know, just renting the rooms to random people. So what I would advise is just to get a duplex. You probably can, if you're single, you can live in the studio, or isolate one room, make it a studio with a small kitchenette and rent the other part of the house. Or if you're a big family, you can just get a bigger house, rent the rooms that separate them, rent them rooms that you don't need, and you would end up getting paid for your rent. Pay attention to the duplexes, guys. Duplexes are best option because you get to, even triplex or fourplex are even better, because you could be living in pretty much your own private property and rent their other properties, and you would end up maybe even making money. ADU is another thing that you need to pay attention to. ADU, if you don't know, is additional dwelling unit, meaning you can just build a home in your backyard and rent it out, or you can live in it and rent the main house. Actually, California passed a law stating that you can actually sell the ADU separately. So say you're building ADU, it's a separate house, everything is separate, you can just sell it and then end up making money, get your house for free and buy another house now. So that's how it works, guys. How you can do it is another story. My advice is just to be persistent. Good deals doesn't come easy. The thing with the real estate is that it's really forgiving. Even if you will buy a crappy deal, it will still end up paying very good for you. That's the thing I would pay attention to. Now, considering that the rent is your largest expense during your lifetime, these kind of strategies, they really make sense. It doesn't matter if you rent or you buy the property, you'll end up paying. According to latest studies, millennials are spending about 45% of their income to the housing, which makes it crazy. I hope that this video will help you out. So if you guys actually use all the strategies I said, you pretty much can even make money while living in your own property. If you do the right thing, you can just borrow the money for the down payment, and actually you would not need a down payment either. Most of the time, the guys who are just starting, they don't even have a down payment, or they have a hard time borrowing. So what I would do, I would just try to rent hack. I would rent a place, I would rent the other part of the place that I'm living in, get a roommate if you will, or you can just advertise on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, and you will end up finding someone who would be agreeing to split that place with you. You could save pretty much, get a good deal on the rent. You can pretty much get like, I want to say 70%, maybe 80% of your rent paid for you. Especially if you're getting a property with multiple bedrooms, say 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms. It's really easy to find people who would be willing for paying for the other bedrooms. That would be a smart strategy to use. Say you rented a 6-bedroom house, so you want to rent a studio, okay? So it's a normal studio somewhere in the nice part of the Southern California would be somewhere around 2,000 maybe. But if you would go and rent a 6-bedroom house, I want to say the rent would be somewhere around 6,000. You could rent each bedroom for somewhere around between 15 maybe 10,000 bucks, and you would actually end up cash flowing if you do the right thing. Just make sure when you're signing a lease not to have subletting clause in the lease, because if you have that clause, pretty much what would end up happening, you would not be able to sublease the other parts of technically their property. Most of the landlords, as far as I paid attention, they don't really care. Anyways, if you guys find the value in this type of videos, please make sure to subscribe, comment down below so I would know that you guys like these videos, because I see you watching but I don't see you commenting. All right, it will be cool to read your comments. Anyways, see you on the next one.